Gentlemen No Class is proud to be a part of the HC Universal Network. Gentlemen No Class is produced, mixed, and edited by M5 Studios.
This podcast contains explicit language and is intended for adult audiences. The views and opinions of Gentlemen No Class are strictly for comedic purposes and should not be taken literally. For instance, like this disclaimer. Now grab yourself a pint and enjoy.
Welcome to another episode of Gentlemen No Class, a podcast that when the going gets weird, the weird turn pro. I'm Jake.
I'm Randy.
I'm supposed to be Paul. That's bullshit, though.
And I'm Rob.
And like it or not, gentle ladies and gentlemen, we are the hosts for tonight's episode. What is that? What do you mean that's bullshit? What's bullshit about
I don't know.
being Paul?
You being Paul is
a lot
bullshit.
of things are.
Being Pauled.
Welcome
Yeah.
back to the show,
I'm not
Randy.
appalled.
We haven't had you on in
Yeah.
it's been
Wow.
quite
Last
a while.
time was we discussed UFOs, aliens, and the
Yeah,
like.
some
Oh, yeah,
paranormal
that's
stuff. I think it was
right. Yeah.
October 2018.
Damn,
I don't remember that, but I believe you.
Yes.
that
You
sounds
should.
about right.
Okay.
You should. I
Well-
have pictures.
I have pictures.
So tonight
True.
we're going to be discussing I don't even know how to really lead off the topic. We're going to be talking about
Put your
COVID.
seatbelt on first before
We're going to
you-
be talking about COVID and the conspiracy theories that surround
Yeah,
COVID because we love conspiracy theories. So
yeah.
we're gonna keep on that. Paul's gonna lead this.
No,
this
no.
This was your idea, so-
No, actually, it was Randy. He pitched it to me.
Okay.
I called you out.
Man,
Yeah. Why don't you hit that pitch
With
again?
that being said, it's like what Rob.
I remember.
But here's the thing: up front, research. We did the best we could.
Yeah, so
But-
that's one of the things that really comes across. I think we were talking about like how this episode was going to go and what topics we were going to chase and et cetera, et cetera. And as we all came together for the episode, we realized that it's really hard to get all the actual facts surrounding this crisis and pandemic because there's so much misinformation. So we kind of decided that we're just going to roll with kind of what we all know from what we've intaken from our own, social media and news outlets that we've had to deal with. So, we'll kind of just, I don't know, we'll kind of just like kickstart it off. I don't know. Where do you want to start it off?
Yeah, Paul.
Kind of
No?
kind of a backstory on like what happened. So apparently I think the first reported case of COVID-19 was reported in the Wuhan province of China, and that was in like October of last year.
I think so.
October of last year after some idiot ate a bat.
Now, is that
supposedly.
the reason?
Well, that's so there's been CDC reports back to like October, like 2015, 2016, where we had like virus chase. We had a team that Trump disbanded, but they were like basically like researching pandemics, and that was one of the things that they brought up. They were like, with the high concentration of coronaviruses in bats and things like that, and the fact that like people in China like eat anything basically, like the odds. I mean, that's what it says. Like the consumption of odd animals like bats and snakes and things like that.
Yeah.
And the high concentration of coronaviruses in these animals, like
And those wet markets.
whatever that is.
Yeah, it's when they have all those animals and they're just everywhere. And
Yeah.
yeah.
And it
Yeah.
was basically like
if it's got meat on it, they'll sell it and they'll eat it. It's fucked up.
Yeah. It's basically like it was
fucked up
inevitable.
to
is
the
what
Western
report said.
civilization of life, right? I think if you're over
Yeah, it's all
there, it's probably
perspective.
Yeah,
probably
of course,
normal.
because we
Yeah.
don't do
Yeah.
that. They do that.
Exactly.
It's accepted. It's
Yeah.
normal.
Yeah,
But over
exactly.
here, it's fucking wacko.
Yeah.
But do you really know what you're eating?
Yeah. Well, even here.
Yeah.
You could say the same
Exactly.
thing about
Yeah,
here.
of
Hot
course.
dogs. What the fuck is that?
Yeah. They're delicious, but
Yeah. I don't want to think about it when I'm
Fuck it.
eating because it's gonna ruin the fun.
yeah.
So like a broad overarching kind of deal with this, this has kind of taken over our entire lives the past
Yeah.
6
And
months, basically.
and we don't know for how long. The question is for how long is what's societal norms. It's changed so much in the past 3 or 4 months. It's conditioned us and it like to a degree where it's it's hard to believe anything.
Right.
Because there's such a heavy division on everything.
Paul, why don't you talk about, since like you were the one, like this was kind of like y'all's pitch idea, and like this kind of came up as we were talking about this.
Mm-hmm.
You were trying to research this. Why don't we kick it off with that? Like, what did you come across as you were trying to research facts for this episode? What did you come across?
Well, you got the main one. Like, okay, the first one I've heard when I heard conspiracies about this was 5G. And that's pretty fucking ridiculous. I mean,
Yeah.
It's so getting conversations with my dad about it. It's like, the thing is, like, there's not that many 5G towers.
Yeah.
And there's only so many countries too. And not to mention, people have actually, I don't know which countries, but they've actually burned down. They've taken down towers because of it.
In the UK.
Okay. I think that's where it's at. Yeah. So, it gets a bit ridiculous.
What's the background behind that? Did you find any, like, what background, like they were saying? Like,
it was, man, like, I'll be honest, when I was trying to listen to all this stuff, it just seemed so irritating. It was just hard to digest and hard to listen. But a lot of them, they've been saying, they said the same thing when, 3G and 4G, before too. It wasn't as much as an impact right now, but they said the same thing that is affecting us, or causing, not necessarily a virus, but it's causing harm to a certain extent,
right.
Which I don't know if there's even proof for that.
Well, so the big overarching conspiracy that I heard doing research
What
for
did
it,
Rob here?
and tell me, we can kind of align on this. Maybe you've heard it because it ties into that also.
Mm-hmm.
It's basically the gist is like they want to put some kind of tracking device in everybody so that they can tell what's going on all the time.
Right.
So the idea was to use a vaccine to do that. So
the
way that they were doing this was like they waited until there was an opportunity. They took the COVID and purposely spread it further than it would have gone normally.
Yeah.
Spread misinformation about the seriousness of the disease and fudge the statistics behind it.
Yes.
So that when the vaccine comes out, everybody gets the vaccine, and that will implant some kind of tracking device that will be able to be tracked and activated by the 5G towers.
Yeah.
And that the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation, since they do a lot of vaccines worldwide, they do a lot of vaccine funding and stuff worldwide. That they're the ones kind of behind this whole thing, tying into, this makes it this big global overarching conspiracy.
Yes.
So is it like you thinking that? So I also heard somewhere where the actual swabbing of the nasal cavity is actually putting something in your body instead of testing it, or B, for like a tracking purposes, or B, spreading the virus itself.
I don't think so.
Eventually you'll get it.
I don't think so. I just think I'm not sure what president. It was this African president. I can't remember the country right now, but he sent in fake samples to the WHO, and it was like papaya and something else, and they came back positive. So it's like they're just trying to push this whole everything is positive.
Yeah.
To try to
not to mention too, like when certain people have like a heart attack or some kind of other death, they'll consider it as a COVID death as well. That's tribute to it.
Well, that's if you read
he got hit by an 18-wheeler.
Yeah.
But
if you truly died by COVID.
If you read the statistics, if you read the statistic that comes out, it says COVID. It says deaths involving COVID. So if you have COVID and you get hit by a truck, like Paul was saying, then that would count towards that statistic.
And doesn't that make you kind of think like, why are they trying to push this?
Yeah,
it does.
I've also heard too. I haven't really looked into it, but people are saying a lot of these numbers are inflated, and that's where, like I said earlier, it's like it's really hard to believe what to believe what's out there, because there's so much disinformation.
Well,
and
it's hard to track. So like you have to look at it like this. So like the China quit doing testing basically. So they were like, they're like, oh yeah, we're good. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
They were just like they're just like they're going to let the virus run its course.
Yeah.
They're not going
Yeah.
to track it anymore.
I've-
But in the like here, like people want to know like how bad the pandemic is or whatever. So like they want to track everything. But the thing that throws off those statistics, if you've ever taken like a statistics class, is there's no way to control for people taking multiple tests.
Yeah.
There's no way to there's
no control group.
Yeah, there's no accurate way to test.
Yeah, it's just a fucking mess.
Because the testing itself is so hard, and you don't have like a controlled, like
A control group.
not a control group, but
Yeah.
like I mean like even if you didn't have a control group, you could at least have like
A controlled
the control could
environment or
be
something.
yeah the control could be like the testers.
Yeah.
We don't even have that. So like you get a lot of false negatives and a lot of false positives.
Yeah.
And that's what the problem is like,
See,
and-
this is where I come in. I never kind of cared about the origin of the virus. I think that just doesn't matter.
It's irrelevant kind of thing.
Yeah. I just started, I swear, ever since this came out, I just kept on focusing on why every politician was talking about testing. And I would be like, why aren't we talking about a vaccine or deaths? No, they always talked about testing. So they're like trying to bring the cases up. So I always thought that was weird. Why are they always talking about testing and not like, the cure? Like they just want the numbers to go up.
Yeah.
Which
And
is
also,
weird.
too, like, for how long?
Yeah.
How long is life going to be like this? It
Yeah.
seems like, is this the new norm? And I
no,
just,
I mean, I would hope not. I
don't know
I think
what
that society
life is
would
gonna-
push back against
think-
it. But
yeah. And it just, I don't know. You're just seeing a lot of businesses are suffering. A lot of people are suffering because of
Yeah.
this. And, which is one of the points I wanted to bring up too was, I don't know if it's a conspiracy, but like talking about an opportunity for like corporations to mainly take over and kill like the mom and pop shops.
Yes.
And like I've correct me if I'm wrong, but I thought that small businesses and individual people that are on their own make up a majority of our economy. And it seems like the corporations would have like they can survive because they're fucking corporations.
Of
They got
course.
money,
And it was embers.
Yeah,
So we closed down the small businesses and we let Walmart, Target,
yeah, and they all
open,
rule like. and
Academy.
I've seen this
But-
in movies.
but-
like
Yeah.
it's scary.
It's
But
Like
the small
it's like almost
businesses-
like corporatism getting involved
Yeah.
in the politics.
And I think we're getting ahead. Well, I'm getting ahead of myself, but I was going to talk about how, the Nazis were what's going on. It's nationalist, socialist. It's when corporations take control of the government, and that's what's going on.
Yeah.
And
That's what's scary.
We've had lobbyists forever, and that was a backdoor for corporations to take control
Yeah, always have.
of our
Oh, yeah.
government. And I mean, the word Nazi gets thrown out, so like
Yeah, it's
Nazi,
losing its value
so it
and
loses
meaning.
its value. But that's what's going on right now. The corporations are taking control of the government,
Yeah.
and whatever they want. I mean, look at Trump. He had all the biggest CEOs of the corporations behind him when he was giving his COVID speeches and whatnot.
Yeah.
I mean, they're not part of the government. Why are they there?
Yeah.
well, I mean,
It seems like it's
from like on the flip side of that, you have to look at like from the government's perspective. They're trying to save as many jobs as possible. You know what I mean? So the easiest way to save jobs is to keep businesses open. And who employs more? Do you save the mom and pop shops that employ 15 to 50 people?
Yeah.
Or do you save, the big corporations and employ,
But,
Yeah.
but you're
It's
closing
tens of thousands
But you're
of
closing
people.
the small shops for what? For COVID. Yet Walmart has 1,000 people in there.
Before you
What's
get into that, though, it's like there also this bailout money that was thrown that these small businesses
Oh, yeah,
were
yeah.
able to get $120,000.
yeah.
Okay,
a
and
lot
now-
of the corporations took a lot of that.
A lot of,
money, too.
and that's fucked up. The big corporations,
Yeah.
like McDonald's?
yeah, and
They're coming out right now. They're called PPEs or whatever. All these billionaires
Triple
were getting
Ps, I think.
Oh, Judd Apatow, his filming business
Studio?
got money. It's like, why?
yeah, and that's bullshit.
Crazy.
Yeah, damn. Really?
I mean, I love his
didn't know that.
movies. I love his movies, but
yeah,
crazy.
he also supports Roman Polanski too, so I'm kind of iffy on
yes,
that.
yeah.
So
That's a
Jake,
different story.
Finish your thought.
No, I was
Jake.
just saying the small businesses got 120,000, bailout if you were able to get it in time and file it for it in time.
You could file up to 10 million
Was it? Okay. Well, I think the minimum was 120,000. So I guess it's depending on whatever your yearly, sales is or whatever. I don't know. But that also pays for, your employees that have to take leave, due to, getting tested positive,
Right.
or, closing down and making your monthly marks, How long is this going to be? We don't know. Is this going to be the norm? We don't know.
Yeah.
But the thing is that, in everyday life before this, we would see people with face masks and we would look at them and like, okay, they're probably sick, and they were just taking precautions. It was usually probably the elderly that was wearing it and probably with the hospital wristband. But now,
People from China too.
but now
They're already
it's
doing
like,
it.
Yeah, that's true.
it's like, I don't think it's that the face mask is ever going to go away. You're going to have people that are so paranoid, they're going to wear face masks all the time.
Yeah.
And we're going to
And
look at
that's the
that like,
thing.
okay, that's
And
normal.
that's
When you're wearing it
fucked up,
8
though.
hours a day, you're depriving. It's some you need oxygen in
That's
your
not
brain.
true.
Yeah.
No.
Really?
Yeah, that's not true.
Are you sure?
Yeah,
Because you need oxygen.
I did research that, at least that part of it, like
Because
so,
I don't like it when I feel like shit when I work with it.
like if if you talk about a cloth, like let's just talk about a cloth face mask. Let's just talk about a cloth face mask. You're talking
I
about-
deserve that. I deserve that.
You're talking about a cloth face mask that can filter particles down to
Yeah.
a certain micron level.
Yeah.
And oxygen
But-
is so much smaller than that. Like it's
Yeah.
basically breathing
No.
through.
And
like,
I mean, what about surgeons? I
Yeah.
mean, during a 4-hour surgery, I mean, they don't complain. I
Oh,
mean, it's
12, 15 hour
or
surgery.
or the
Yeah,
ones
yeah.
that have that fucking CPAP machine. You're wearing a mask, but it's not pumping oxygen. It's just air. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
And it's just to help you breathe. So I think I guarantee if you wear that mask and you take that mask off, you're gonna be like, "Fuck, man, I cannot sleep with this shit on." But you're gonna be sleeping for 8 hours with it.
Yeah.
I mean, what the deal is like you're talking about in your case. I think that like what the biggest deal with that is getting used to getting used to the mask.
It sucks.
It does suck, but I mean, you have like it's not just the intake of oxygen; it's the exhalation of carbon dioxide, and you can get carbon dioxide poisoning. You can have too much CO2. And
Yeah, you're like breathing in your own breath.
Yeah, exactly.
Nonstop.
Like
And
nonstop.
that's a concern. for sure.
and that is a concern. I mean,
That's not gonna happen,
and
though.
it's like that's why you don't need to wear like those N95 masks. You're not going to pass out from wearing one of these masks that they talk about, like the cloth mask or whatever. That's really, if everybody's wearing. There's a lot of videos out there that will like that break down the explanation of like it's basically like. I like the video that I like the best is the piss in your pants video.
Yeah, there you go.
Have you ever
the
have you
visual
ever seen that
picture?
one?
Yeah, where like
so
if
it's
you're
like,
both naked.
It's like if
pissing
you're
on each other.
both naked and Randy pisses, like it's gonna get all over me, right?
Yeah.
If Randy pisses and I'm wearing pants, I'm still gonna get piss all over me, but it's not gonna get my skin soaking wet. But
Yeah.
if Randy's wearing pants and I'm wearing pants and Randy pisses, I'm not really gonna get that wet. I'm not gonna get.
There's
hardly wet
logic
at all.
behind that.
See, but I mean, just speaking of wearing the mask, I think that's doesn't even matter. Like, just wear the mask. It's like no shoes, no shirt, no service.
Well,
now
that's-
it's gonna be.
I've
a
already
mask,
seen
you know?
that.
That's
already
okay.
seen size. No shoes, no
Yeah,
shirt,
and that's
now,
okay.
No mask, no
And-
service.
But that's okay.
But it fucks my
should be
beard up, bro.
I know, it sucks. I know.
Well, beard oil.
So I wear this scarf. It's like
That's
kind
what
of
I do. I wear
I
a
just wear
bandana.
and I just pull it up, and I think that's a
just
little bit more
you're a
protective.
badass. All right, Rob.
I am.
All right.
All I'm
But-
saying is that my everyday life, I work in in
Yeah,
the
you have to
retail
deal with
environment,
this.
and I deal with 300 people at minimum a day, and the people that like fuck you, I'm not wearing a mask. I mean, I'm not going to label them, but they're fucking conservative behind them, And it's
Yes.
like, what's so wrong with wearing
Yes.
a fucking mask?
And
man?
we were talking about that.
yeah,
I don't get
well,
that.
the
Shit.
the
The
thing is, like,
liberals
when it
wearing
comes,
masks.
it's got political sides on it. At one point, it wasn't. Now it has ties to it. If you don't wear a mask or you refuse to, you're conservative. But if you're supported and you do, you
that's-
should say
that's-
wear a mask.
that's
and then
terrible.
It's,
I probably
then
shouldn't
it's
have
like
said that.
liberal.
I probably should've-
But it's the truth. I agree with
You know,
you, though. It's what, that's
but
what,
I'm
from what I've seen.
But
And-
that's me being labeling them. I shouldn't say that, but to back that up, Bedrock City
Call 'em
Comics,
Karens.
Bedrock City Comics.
Yeah,
it's
well,
a big
they're
comic
everywhere
book
for
store.
everything.
big home store in
Yes,
Houston.
I saw that video.
There's a video of a guy not wearing a mask. A guy,
Uh-huh.
the employee goes up there, hands him a mask.
Yes.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not wearing that. I'm not wearing that. And then he grabs the mask and just chunks it to him.
Yeah.
And he,
Yeah.
but they found him. They found him on Facebook and
Yeah.
it's, Trump this and Democrat sucks this. And it's like, I don't get that shit either.
I don't
like,
understand that. I mean,
that's the data I had to back that
but
up.
the masks don't matter. It's
I
about
honestly-
writing.
It's all of like, it's all a matter of perspective of what's the first step.
Yeah.
What's that for? Like you brought up the Nazis and like people love to bring up like fascism and things like that. And they love to bring up like, but it's every step towards total government oversight.
I know.
Right, of course.
That's what we've gotten to. Like it's they don't want to give up anything about it. And I'm trying to talk about this without like letting my own personal views come into play. But like it basically comes down to the point with like if you all submit to this, then what's the next thing?
Yeah.
Everybody submits to that. Then that's
It's kind of like
it's a
the Jews. Like,
cascade.
all right, let me wear the Star of David.
Yeah. Okay,
And
we'll all
then,
live in the same neighborhood.
All it takes is
Okay,
a crack,
cool.
a crack in the door to open to be into
exactly.
the room.
And I think
know, yeah.
It makes sense.
honestly, like as speaking as like from a conservative standpoint, like just like seeing where they're coming from, like any step in that direction, if you have to fight it as long as you can,
Yes.
you know what I mean? So that the other side sees where you're coming from.
But you have to pick your battles.
Yeah, there you go too.
And I mean, the mask, if the collective, if society's saying wear the mask because we're helping people, just wear it. I mean,
Like,
it's
so the logic,
that's what the Nazis said.
Yeah.
Where's the
just
Star of David?
wear your
Well,
Star of David. Yeah, but
yeah.
You're helping
but
things.
everyone is.
but what's the
but
logic
everyone's wearing
behind
it.
the
Not
logic behind the
just
Star
a
of David
certain-
was what?
I get
The
it.
outcome, yeah.
I get
the
it.
result.
That's what I'm saying.
See, that's
it's this, but I think that the fear, the overarching fear, is that this leads to this. All it took was we gave up control for this.
But what I'm saying is people are focusing on masks instead of look at the lobbyists. I mean, why are we focusing on masks while not? It always boils down to money.
Yeah, like we're talking about.
Lobbyists.
It's all.
So no
this
one is
all
talking about the
backed by-
super PACs. The super PACs have been going on for years. All these people
The real problems,
spending so
yeah.
much money on their parties. Yet right now we're talking about masks. It's like,
Super
dude,
PAC.
come on.
It's this division that's creating.
what I'm trying to get at. Like,
Yeah,
like
this-
fuck the masks, dude. The
might be
masks
a
don't
stupid
matter,
question.
but it makes us go
But to
crazy
heavy-
instead of really
This
focusing
is
on the problem.
The mask is just one thing currently. What's going on in our country? Well, maybe in the world too, but just focusing here in America. As far as like this civil, just division. There's just so much division on
And that's the
on
media's
a lot
fault.
of things. Yeah,
Because people watch
I know.
Fox, CNN,
all
MSNBC.
this shit. Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't play. I was telling Jacob too. Is like, man, like I try not to watch. I have like or on YouTube like independent journalists and other people on YouTube that do. I like to listen to them a little bit more because they seem like they actually do their research and they have a lot of them are unbiased and they don't try to take a side. But when it comes to the mainstream media, it just this heavy division. Like I'm not playing this game. I don't want to be. I don't want to be part of like the fighting. Like to be honest, the whole mask thing. I don't. I honestly I don't want to wear it, but I'll do it. I'll do it because hey, it's the way it is.
Right.
It's I'm not gonna go. I don't want to. It's just I'm not gonna be bitching like I see these videos and like you were telling me, well, I'm not a sheep. Oh, I'm not one of those fucking people.
Right.
To be honest, I quietly protested myself, and I'll still wear it though because that's what the rules are. Like it sucks, but I do it anyway. I do. It's no problem really, but but I
You're
really
right.
don't want to do it though.
But
At the
they're
same
not-
time,
Most people don't want to do it.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't
wanna
want
do
to.
it.
I don't want to wear
Yeah.
shoes when I go to the store. I don't want to wear. You know what I mean? I don't want to wear pants most of the time.
Yeah.
Or
So,
undies.
you know what I mean? Like, I don't want to drive sober, but I do it. You know what I mean?
You gotta abide
That's
by the
boring
rules.
as
I mean,
fuck.
I have
Yeah.
a fucking Suburban. I don't give a shit what I hit. Like, it's not going to affect me.
yeah, yeah.
And that's the mentality.
My
You know
question
what
is
I
this.
mean?
This might be a dumb question.
There's
your-
no such
Let's
thing
hear
as
it.
dumb questions.
Can kids go to school without an updated immunization card?
Yes.
They can. Okay.
for how long though?
Only until they're found out. Not in Texas, no.
But, you know,
can't go to-
Because I was going to say this. I used to be a director for a community center, and they could not join unless they had their.
So isn't that in
So
the same
this-
umbrella with the
yeah,
mask
so
wearing?
this goes to, well, and there's a lot of people that fight that, the anti-vaxxers, you know what I mean?
That's true.
And that's a lot of misinformation that gets spread because of the
Yeah.
internet. So that goes
And
back to the
origins
original,
too, where it came from too, is bullshit.
the original conspiracy.
From the anti-vaxxers, that is.
Yeah, and,
yeah.
we're
Where
not
it
getting
came
into
from. Well, yeah,
anti-vaxxers, but-
yeah.
But basically, like this whole overarching conspiracy of how they want to track us with whatever it is. But the basic gist behind it, and maybe is this the ID that you were
The
talking about?
ID 2020.
Yeah. So basically, the gist of this is like what you were talking about. Vaccination records, they're very spotty. You know what I mean? Like if you get a vaccination, your doctor may have it, but you may forget what doctor you've gotten. You know, when was the last time you got a tetanus shot? Do you
Yeah.
know?
Yeah.
I mean, I know because I have it on record because like I deal with that shit all the time, and like it's on my work file.
I
But
damn near cut my finger off with the fucking box cutter.
But you know we don't do that anymore. There's
that the daily basis,
database
man?
called
I'm down.
Immutrack.
yeah,
Immutrack is online, and instead
but
of
that
giving
only
you
that only tracks like worldwide. That only tracks something like 45% of all vaccinations.
so let's
given
just put a
worldwide.
chip on us.
So the idea,
that.
it's,
Right?
It's the idea behind the what they're calling. It's like an ID dot. It's basically a quantum reflective light dot.
Yeah.
It's a piece of material that reflects light a certain way that they can, it's basically like when you get a vaccine, it's basically like your vaccination record implanted on you that can be read.
And you're okay
easily.
with that?
Whoa,
Your
really?
vaccination record?
On you or in you.
Well, it could be also
This
used for
guy's
other.
sleeved out. Of course
no,
he's
well,
fucking okay with it.
I am too, but
think about the intentions.
but it doesn't mean that they're gonna be
But why-
like tracking me or
Well, see,
anything.
they're not tracking you. I'm talking
Well,
about like they have to be next to you and scan you to see like, okay, you've had your vaccinations, yes or no.
So what's the difference between that and having a database online?
Because this would be more accurate than the database. That's
So
the
it's
whole
about
point
accuracy.
behind it.
So the whole point, what I get from that,
about
just,
being
it's
accurate.
just tracking in general,
from
tracking.
being in the United States, like we think of this like, oh yeah, all my shit's online anyway. What do
Yeah.
I care? You have to think broader than that and think worldwide. Like, there's fucking over somewhere that doesn't.
I don't get that, but
all their
alright.
fucking
Yeah,
vaccinations aren't listed.
I don't
You know what
follow them
That
on
sounds like
Instagram,
an
so I don't
alien
care
from
about it.
fucking Fire in the Sky.
yeah,
It
yeah.
could have been.
What were you
I'm
saying?
just
Paul?
saying that there's
Yeah,
Jim Bob Chinaman
but-
that may have all his
but-
vaccines, but it's not listed anywhere.
Yeah, but,
Asian
but
American.
But we shouldn't
Please.
care about that because we're our own country. Why are we caring about the whole world now?
because
Yeah,
they come to
well,
our country.
let's
so
see,
when,
that's the
once
thing,
they
too.
come in here, you put them in the database.
That's
No, they
the thing
put-
But,
too.
how,
no,
but
they-
how do you know what
the
they've
world-
already had?
The world
You just
follows.
give them everything, a fucking
That's
cocktail.
not the way this works.
But that's the scary thing, though. The world looks up to us too. They see us as like some
Not
kind of
anymore,
leader.
they don't.
Well, no.
No.
Well, to be honest, like a lot of them, they do follow us when it comes to a lot of these things.
On
So we're kind of
Instagram?
representing. Yeah,
You watch
Instagram,
90
yeah.
Day Fiance, man. They all want to come to America.
Yeah.
Ah.
The point is, like what I was trying to
That's
say
a
earlier,
great show.
is the tracking part. Like it could be masked as like, okay, well, for records of, what you're saying, Rava, vaccinations or all that stuff and whatever.
I get
it. But at the same time, it could be, just the conspiracy side, right? It could be a ploy just for, another reason to track us.
If they tell us, hey, I'm going to give you all these, I'm going to put your database, your vaccination records on this little thing. You can't even see it. Nobody will notice it. Blah, blah, whatever.
Yeah, that's what Facebook said. We're not going to sell your data.
But can you prove that that's what you're putting on?
We're not going to do this. Come on. We can't trust them.
I mean, do you ever like look at your phone and maybe I'll download some porn and you pleasure yourself?
No,
but hold on.
Nice.
Do you not think that maybe there's a camera
looking
at
someone?
It's funny. I've read that some of the FBI saying we don't care what kind of porn you're looking at.
No,
or some shit.
The craziest thing is,
I saw that one time.
I don't care about that, but I just think that they're trying to sell you stuff. I'm not kidding. I need an oil change. I've been talking about it for 2-3 days, and I don't ever look it up because my friend does it. I have oil changes ads now on my Instagram because but even through text. I don't think it's sinister. I just think they're trying to sell you shit.
Yeah,
I'm not afraid
where
of
does
it.
it stop at?
I mean, but that's another thing.
I know.
That's the overarching question: is where does it stop?
That
if you let it start, where does it stop?
That's someone who has power
and
or fame
for this whole
and
COVID
influence.
thing.
That's someone who should ask themselves that. I don't have any of those, so I don't care about it.
But if you don't care about,
that's
the thing. If you don't care about your own civil rights, that's like the whole.
No, I'm not talking about that. They're not going to use it against me.
You don't know that. They'll do whatever they want.
I do know that.
But
it's kind of dressed up.
No,
as
I don't.
Exactly. That's the whole thing. That goes back to the whole what we were talking about earlier with the police. If you have nothing to hide, you shouldn't. It shouldn't matter.
No, I know.
What are you worried about if you got nothing to hide?
Yeah, that bullshit. Yeah,
Fuck that. It matters because
do that to me.
It matters. It matters because it's wrong.
Yes,
I know. It matters because these are the things we drew a line in the sand 244 years ago, and we said these are the things that are right and these are the things that are wrong.
Yeah,
we've had to course correct a couple of times,
many times.
Yeah. Okay. But
but grow,
we
learn.
You live and you learn, and that's what happens. We've tried to be better, and there are things that are pulling society in general. I'm not going to continue pigeonhole like one country, our country, whatever, but just in general societal norms. Like we have decided, over the last 200 to 300 years, we have decided that these are things that are right and these are things that are wrong. There are people that constantly try to pull that back, and we have to course correct and adjust for that, and then slowly those things become accepted as what is right.
But who makes those? Who determines what's right and what's wrong?
Society.
Society that's populated by a certain party, by a certain
and when it comes to that too, it's
gender,
it's arbitrary.
That's what it kind of gets
what
at.
I'm saying. But that's what I'm saying. Like, I'm not saying that like the way that all the rules that we have now are correct.
Right. I got you.
What I'm saying is that as a society, as we progress, you see things. If you look at history, we start society just in general has been
immatures and ages. Exactly.
Yeah.
And it goes with the times. Just
grow,
like
but you
right now with change, this might be the norm. And instead of everybody freaking out about it, just kind of understand. I'm not telling you to understand, but just like time changes. Lives change over the course of time.
Yeah, generations.
Back in the 40s and 50s, the single family household was not that much bigger than this fucking garage. Now people are buying 2-story homes for a family of 4.
Yeah,
and it's
6,000 square feet homes.
Exactly.
Yeah, for like family of 4.
So I don't know.
Yeah.
This garage is pretty small. I think you're wrong.
Okay. Maybe a double garage. You know what I mean?
I know what you're talking about though, Jake, because I've seen pictures like that.
Exactly.
The houses were small back then.
Yeah, because
the Brady Bunch.
And that's, I mean,
the Brady Bunch had a fucking huge house.
Let's talk about societal norms over the last 300 years. As a society, we have started and grown and come out and said, okay, slavery is wrong. Okay.
Oh, we're going down that road.
I'm just saying we're going down.
Yeah, of course. Yeah,
we're talking about civil rights for
absolutely
African Americans, people of color, and then the women's suffrage movement, and then the civil rights movement, and as a society, we are moving towards the right direction constantly.
Are we?
But
to a point. Now it sounds like it's getting too.
I think the whole mask thing. That's why people are freaking out, because it doesn't seem like we're heading to
exactly.
Yeah.
And like if you look at it from like the broader perspective, like it, that's one thing you can do. Like just wear a fucking mask, and I think that people are like, I think they equate like just wear a fucking mask with why do you need an AR-15?
Yeah.
And that's exactly how it goes. Like, why do you need an assault rifle? You're not in the army. Why do you need an assault?
And that is the question.
And the question, unanswered. The answer is it doesn't matter why I need it. It's my right to have it.
Speaking of guns,
but then we can get a bazooka. Then we should have a bazooka then. Or a fucking automatic.
Guns in general have gone up the roof in sales. You know that?
I'm sure they have.
Even liberals are buying guns too that were anti-gun. A lot of them are buying guns now.
So the NRA's behind this shit.
I know. It's gone up the fucking roof, man. It's fucking crazy. It's completely changed.
Because
we've derailed this into like 4 different conversations.
Yeah.
So like what we need to let's get back to the overarching conspiracy of the COVID-19. So the theory that the question that you have to postulate off of this is,
there's that word again.
Postulate, sit up straight, your posture, goddammit.
Hey, you gotta postulate a little better.
Do I need to have a dictionary on the hold on, they're gonna Google that word to make sure that they answer this correctly.
No sir, you don't need to Google.
No, you Googled it the last time.
Lycos. I Lycos.
Okay,
fuck you.
I Lycos. I use Bing. Let me Bing that real quick.
I ask Jeeves every now and then.
Yeah, no shit. But
are you going to Alta Vista and searching for Yahoo?
Well, going back to the whole COVID thing, I just think people are just using it for their political agendas.
Yeah, big time.
But do you think
opportunities?
I think that it's
because
but everybody uses anything.
BLM protest, 60,000 people neck to neck, and then that was okay. But now that the bars reopened, that's what's making the cases spike, not the protest. And dude, I was for the protest. I'm not talking shit about the protest. I'm talking about
logically speaking, it seems
they're
insane.
like no, and now they have scientists. Dude, numbers can be manipulated, and it's crazy. No, it's because it actually helped it. I'm like, but people next to each other, 60,000 people next to each other
versus like 12
compared
or 15.
to 12 to my neighborhood fucking dive bar, but that has to be closed. See, and then the Republican, the GOP wanted to have their convention here, and
was that
Mayor Turner canceled it.
Oh yeah, I heard about that
and stuff. Yeah, it's like okay, it's cool, but why are you okay with something that's for your agenda, but something that's against it?
So here's a question. Here's a question for you. Do you think that they were okay with letting the Black Lives Matter protest happen because they were afraid of what was going to happen?
I think there was no choice.
Didn't? Kind of like
that protest was going to happen.
Kind of like the O.J. Simpson thing, basically.
If we say yes, why would they still negate the fact that it didn't create the spike?
Because then they looked like the bad guys and they look incompetent.
Well,
you have to play gotta play to the least common denominator. You got to realize that like how smart the average person is, and realize that half of them are dumber than that.
Yeah.
So I mean, you have to like really think like you know what I mean? Like what information you're feeding out to the crowd.
Yeah.
It's really easy for us to sit here and be like, that this doesn't make any sense. You know what I mean? But like, there's a lot of people that like don't think things through that far. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
All they hear and all they see is the headline.
Yeah.
And that's why that's why media is the way it is today.
It's fucking terrible.
It's all headline driven. It's all clickbait and all shit like that.
That's one thing that I was talking about.
Very minimal.
Dude,
hardly any depth to any of the shit.
I know it's kind of more conspiracy based, but there's only like 6 news corporations, and I feel that they want violence. So I don't know if that's incorporated with
that sells newspapers.
Antifa.
Yeah.
Negativity. They kind of infiltrate a peaceful movement, protest, and then they fuck shit up, and then they sell more advertising for. So it's a vicious cycle.
Go to your.
It's so annoying.
Go to your favorite bar or wherever. I guarantee you, most businesses are going to have more negative reviews than anything positive.
Yeah, of course,
because people love negative shit.
People like to be a dick. Too.
That's why it's so hard to get a good review.
It's true.
When was the last time you went to and made a good review on a bar or on a restaurant that you went to?
Since I work in some things like that, I try to do the good reviews.
I mean when they ask me to do a review,
you don't.
No, that's not true.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry. Most people don't, though. Most people don't.
Like if I'm at a restaurant or whatever, and they're like, "Hey, would you mind filling out this survey or whatever?" And that survey goes towards the reviews and things like that. I'll try to make sure that I fill it out. But you're right. People love the negative shit. They love to complain. They want people are very fast to make a negative review on anything.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I mean,
because they want to complain about it and they want to get that validation from other people.
And I think that's just people. I mean, it's like the paparazzi. People complain about like, oh man, but who's fucking buying those
Grab me some of those EMs while you're
magazines?
In there, Paul.
I mean, the paparazzi makes money because people want to see that.
Watch your news broadcast, right?
Yeah.
At the very tail end,
No
they'll be
thanks.
like, at the very tail end, they'll be like, oh, look who made 100 years old. Oh, look at this beautiful little puppy. All the positive shit is at the very tail end of the fucking
very
podcast.
end of the
Yeah,
podcast.
because people love drama is what it is.
Yeah.
And speaking of that, I think a lot of this stuff was going on, like, it just seems like there's a lot of manufactured drama going on that's just causing this division. Like even in the COVID stuff, like I said, and it seems so obvious, at least to me. To me, it does.
My COVID.
My COVID. Yeah,
My
my
COVID.
COVID. Damn it. My God damn it. And like that's why I tell my dad and I tell other people, it's like, don't, like when it comes to, mainstream media, like you're playing into this, like if it feels like the mainstream media to me is like this huge overlord that's trying to divide us. They don't give a flying fuck about us.
No, they don't.
Even the
They
government.
never have.
And it just, people like, don't play that game. Just stay away. I mean,
It's all about the business, man.
Yeah,
It is.
exactly. And
Cutthroat
it's like
business.
me and Randy were talking about the other day. It's all backed by money.
Money.
And it's all greed. And it's all
about
what this is
money.
coming from.
If they tell you that at the end of the street is $1,000, you're going to run at the fastest you ever ran in your whole life to get to $1,000.
Yeah.
I mean, that's just what it is. Money makes you do crazy things.
So if you do
Ask
the
a
flip,
hooker.
So if you do the flip side of it though, and you let the government control the media so that you don't have that, then the government controls then you end up with like a North Korea, China situation.
Yeah. And we'll all be into re-education and all this bullshit. And that's fucking scary.
So
that's fucked up.
That is the world that we live in though.
Oh my
we
God.
live in a world of black and white.
But I mean, in this country, we have 4 years to
a certain
experiment.
extent.
And then we'll get somebody else, some other John coming in, or Mary, who knows?
Mary,
it's just it's the truth. But it's like over there in North Korea, you're dealing with this person for the rest of his life.
That's true.
Yeah. And that's fucked up.
And the rest of their kids' lives.
Yeah.
and-
That's real oppression. I met people that escaped from communist countries, and they told me they come here for a better life, and the fucked up shit they had to they love this country. Yeah. And it's a kind of cracks. I'm kind of going off subject a little bit, but some people say how they hate this country and they say this country's terrible. With the people that I met that escaped and come here, why are people coming here? That because they're trying to have a better life.
The grass is always and you look at the grass is always greener. You go on like.
But America is the greatest country in the world.
Yeah, I mean, to a lot of other people.
We have a lot of things that we do wrong,
but
we have a lot of things that we do right. Also,
that sounded sarcastic, but I was being serious. I mean, there's every fucking country has their own problems, but at least you have an opportunity here. It might not be as good as someone from another race, but you still have one.
Yeah, a lot of them come
the
from
whole
that.
white privilege and stuff.
Yeah,
but you still have an opportunity.
I feel like that now that is a vocal talking point, like that. I think that in our lifetimes we will see. I think that we will see the dissolution of systemic racism, or at least like the very very begin like. not the very, very beginnings of it. We'll see it on a good path to being.
I think we'll see a good path of it. I mean, look at the protesting. Protesting was saturated with many races.
Yeah, I met plenty of people from different races that came from nothing, and they're doing way better than me.
Yeah.
They came here to have a better life. They busted ass, and it also comes from like their background too, because like they lived a tough life and an oppressive government and all that shit, and coming to here, it's fucking it's nothing. It's like this is that's why they come here.
Yeah.
One of the things that we have to there's a lot of disinformation that happens on social media because of Facebook and things like that. Like there's a lot of things that get posted that people just believe right off the bat.
Yeah, and don't even bother looking into it.
I'll just say for an example right now, like there was somebody who was like that posted something on some social media, and it may have been Instagram. I try not to read Facebook, but once a day to catch up on see what's going on with some people. But
that's one too many.
It's just because like a lot of my family and stuff is on there, but I think it was on Instagram, and somebody or it may have been on Facebook. Anyway,
it was TikTok.
Dissolve the point.
Chinese spyware.
Basically to the Canada did this, like they shut down businesses and they paid blah 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 blah.
Compelled
and then,
speech.
And then like you go read through the comments and they're like, yeah, I'm in Canada. That's not true.
Yeah.
But all it takes is that infographic to go viral.
Oh, and then
everyone believes it.
And then my mom's calling me and, hey, guess what?
Yeah,
and I'm like, no, Mom.
They post something.
No.
Where is the source? The source.
They post a 20
the
second.
source is the post.
Clip.
Facebook does something.
Yeah, they post a 20-second clip of
it's
something.
out of context.
And then
usually,
and it's
sometimes.
something that's going on today, but really that original clip was back in 2006.
Yeah. There's a lot of that going on.
There's a lot of
But even CNN does that. CNN, Fox.
They all do that shit.
They crop out pictures and use
that
all
was
this
somebody
craziness.
Manufactured drama, my friends.
Exactly.
That's what I'm talking about.
Fake news.
Well, I mean, they've been called out on it before.
Yeah.
They used
both of them.
There was somebody. They were showing. Some news channel was showing pictures, a video of the riots, like the first night of the riots, and apparently, like somebody was like, that's like Bosnia in the fucking 90s. And it was video from, you saw that, right? And they were like, oh, we're sorry.
I think it was like
somebody,
a civil war.
Somebody edited in the wrong video for this or whatever. It's like,
somebody okayed this.
But they do that all the time. So you know that's
fire the editor.
Yeah.
And that's,
or give the editor a raise. I don't know.
That's the whole thing. It's like you can print a retraction and say, oh, we're sorry. It doesn't matter. The damage is done.
See, and I think it boils down to it doesn't matter about what's right or wrong. It's about how much money you make.
Yeah,
so it's about
that was like give that editor a raise because he did his job.
Money.
Yeah,
he knows how to fucking work the fucking Final Cut.
It's just like J. Jonah Jameson, man, like fucking Spider-Man, hero or menace.
Yeah, that's a perfect example. Though. It is spinning. It's spinning the fucking truth. I was gonna say, like we're talking about money and whatnot. I wanted to bring this up because I've seen it at Exxon, but I think, like I said, about opportunity about this situation, the COVID. Yeah, we are heading towards a cashless society.
Oh yeah,
I've seen signs,
Apple Pay, bro.
I've seen signs in stores. They say if you're gonna pay with cash, you either have exact change or you pay with your debit credit card.
There's a coin shortage.
Yes, apparently, yes.
A coin shortage.
Like Mexico City, when I went there, they didn't
touch
have
money.
Any coins. That was ridiculous. But that's not right. And because they want to control every movement you make.
Yeah,
they want you to. They want to know exactly how much money you have coming in and out.
I don't like that, Rob.
But also, let me ask you guys this. Maybe you guys know a little bit more. Okay, about this.
I know you keep impeccable tax records, Randy. I mean, it's just.
I have every receipt since 2013.
Damn. Really?
No.
There's like 7
Sound convincing. Full me, man.
I'll pump gas like 8
Fake
times.
news on yourself.
Right.
But no, what I was going to say, at least money, cash, coins, right? It's backed. It's actually backed by.
Not anymore. It's not.
It's not.
No, by gold.
Okay.
No.
Okay. Well then, it's even worse because like when we go cashless society, like it's just numbers on a computer.
It's
not the way it's been for a long time.
I know that, but it's still. boggles my fucking mind. Is like it can be any set. You can just throw numbers. Doesn't fucking matter.
What do you think that stimulus check came from, bro?
I know. Yeah,
and then we all got $1,200, and then the billionaires, the billionaires barely got so much money. That was nothing. That's one thing I hated how the media try to spin the whole like, oh, Black Lives Matter. They have the looters. The looters are the bankers who fucking stole all that fucking money, and Trump didn't make it transparent, so we don't know where all that money went to because Trump didn't make it transparency.
And nobody
those are the biggest looters. Yet we're supposed to talk about this 12-year-old kid that robbed Nikes. Who gives a shit about that? How about the ones who took billions of dollars, trillions of dollars?
But nobody brings that up though.
I know
you're woke, bro. You're woke.
What? Who? Me?
No, I'm talking about Randy.
Well, that's the whole thing. We laugh about that.
Laugh at the world, baby.
But like, I mean, honestly, like, I mean, you laugh at it, but I mean, that's something that like it's.
We laugh when something's sad.
See, the thing is, man.
That's coping.
I laughed
it
out. I'm crying.
It's a coping mechanism.
The thing is that if my agenda is to fucking maybe go back to school and succeed to a degree to where I'm able to get into politics. No, to get into politics and try to make a change. No, that's not my fucking agenda in life, right? Yeah. So I guess you got to voice your opinion for the masses. But how effective is that? We're not going to see that shit in our lifetime.
No.
And yeah, we could stir up all this commotion and whatnot, but it's not going to change for generations.
Yeah.
You got to get your voice heard for sure. But I mean,
well, I think that what we're seeing right now is the civil rights movement of our
generation. Absolutely.
Yes. And if you think about like,
and then there's change going on.
That's what I'm saying. Great. Like, if you look at like where the civil rights movement was when Dr. Martin Luther King was assassinated versus to where it is now, how much change happened between now. That's a lot of change, but how much time passed.
Yeah.
And so like we're looking at that now, and like we're going to look 30, 40 years down the line, and things will be different. But we have to make sure that we keep asking the hard questions and bringing up the hard topics and really questioning.
But if it's also necessary too, because I think a lot of it's overblown and
necessary.
But it's like you said earlier too. Necessary. It's like when we started, where do we stop from it? Like it's just like how far are we going to keep going? And when I speak about that, hold on. When I'm speaking about that, I'm talking about a lot of things like a lot of radicals are trying to bring, and this cancel culture is going on is really ridiculous. People are in fear of their lives for following or just having an opinion, having individual thought and freedom of expression. It's at jeopardy at this point.
Fuck you.
That goes to what I just said. I'm not going to be a fucking celebrity. I don't care about this cancel culture. It's not going to affect me.
Well, see, but that's the thing. Like it's just the goalpost keeps getting further and further of what's okay and what's not okay. And that's what's scaring me. It's like, and like I said earlier, it requires too much energy to be, I think the fact is we all should just, consideration for others, of course. But at the same time, it's like, how far how much energy and how much, do we need to dedicate to what's it called? To not offend anybody and all this stuff. It's like I've been doing my part all my life. I don't think I'm doing anything wrong. But if I talk to somebody that's really radical, they would tell me immediately, "You're the problem." Blah blah blah. This and that. And it's like you've gone way too far. Your logic requires way too much energy. Everybody's not going to go with this. This is ridiculous.
Yeah.
And that's the point I'm talking about as far as like when you the stuff that's being overblown, and it's like that's like, okay, I think you're taking it too far. It's like we arrived to certain points like where, okay, this is fucked up. Let's work on it. But okay, we're good on that, right? Now it's like, to me, the way I look at it, it's like, okay, like at least when it comes to the radicals, like what else can we take out? What else can we find, offensive or that's insensitive?
Well, what you're talking
and all
about,
this stuff,
what you're talking about is like the social justice warriors that become offended for everybody else.
On their behalf. Like, that's ridiculous.
And they're like, okay, like we're going to do this and we're going to pull this character out of this and we're not, we're going to do this. And when you really get down to brass tacks and get down to like, this is another Robism that Jake likes. When you get down to the meat and potatoes of it,
potatoes.
You know what I mean? Like, if you let's just call it what it is.
Yeah.
Like you talk about something like them pulling that Golden Girls episode for them being in quote unquote blackface.
Oh yeah,
but they're not. They're in mud masks. But they pulled it because it looks like blackface. Talk to black people. They don't give a shit about that.
Exactly.
They want real change. As a society, we should demand real change for these things.
Yeah.
And shit like that is pandering. And it's bullshit. It doesn't do anything.
Yeah.
All it does is make some white guy in a boardroom feel better about themselves.
Yeah.
And it doesn't do anything more than that.
I know.
And we have to really look as a society and look at it and say, and that, like I was saying earlier, that's this whatever white guilt thing. You know what I mean? Like, you don't want to make real change, but you want to do something.
Right.
No, I know.
So
and
like Aaron Paul.
And
fuck that stupid PSA, those fucking morons. Hey, attention much? You need it? That's all it was.
Christ.
They wanted attention. They haven't been working.
And this might just be a dumb thought that I have, but okay, you know, conservatives, you know, like they kind of hate, like, you know, they're scared of immigrants. But that kind of shows them that they're more human compared to liberals who are like, yeah, you know, they kind of seem like they're untouchable to immigrants, so they feel above them. So it's kind of like backwards. I'm not sure where I'm going with this. If
I don't
you kind of know,
or are they just tired of the bullshit?
I mean, that's okay. I'll give you an example. I think I know what you're talking about. Okay, so I'll give you an example of where I feel that what you're saying comes into play.
Okay.
I had a few years ago, more than a few years ago. This was quite a few years ago. I was working in a small business for a guy who had, you know, started this oil change business. Okay. And he was he's an old retired white guy from Schlumberger and started this oil change business. Yeah. And he started this business, and his son wanted to start his own business later on. And not his son. One of the guys that I was working there with wanted to start his own business and was trying to get approved for a loan to start this business, and he couldn't get approved for it. His main complaint was another guy that he knew wanted to start a different type of business, but basically around the same investment. And because he was an immigrant, he was approved for it right away.
Yeah.
Even though their income levels and backgrounds were basically the same for the industries that they were talking about at the time, you know, like I was like, well, you know, I mean, like they give.
It has a name, right? Man, I'm drawing blank.
No, that's family.
No,
that's like
the whole when you're giving minorities.
I mean, it's a privilege.
Affirmative action.
Affirmative action.
That's dumb.
It's pandering. It's what it is.
Yeah.
It's like it's forcing people to have to do the right thing.
It's like making.
But essentially,
like,
it's
you
a
feel
privilege,
bad,
though.
and it's like no, like. You feel sorry for them, and why should you do it? No, like,
and that's all
dumb.
that kind of get and what all that does is create more issues because what that creates is from a, you know, a white, quote unquote white standpoint, that person is like, you know, I'm underprivileged. I don't have money.
Yeah.
Like I grew up poor.
Yeah.
You know, uneducated, but I have a good work ethic and I want to start this business and it's going to succeed.
Yeah, exactly.
But you want to prove me, but this guy comes over here, has this exact same background.
But just
because he's an immigrant, you'll invest in that because and they get tax breaks and things like that.
Yeah.
All that does is create animosity and divisiveness.
Yeah.
No, I know.
That's all it does.
It's true. It's true.
It's like James Lindsay, you know, he was on Joe Rogan's podcast. He was saying basically a lot of these people, they're looking at the initial, like, okay, yeah, it's good to do that because we're helping them out, but the outcome, the end result of what's going to happen, just like you said, Rob, it creates more problems than it's solving actual problems.
Right.
And that's where it gets twisted and all fucked up.
Yeah.
And we're going.
No. It and it is a fucked up situation, but it works both ways, man. Because if we could bet our bottom dollar, like let's bet our paycheck, you know, like two individuals go to the same school and graduate with the same GPA and everything, and just that one's name is Ryan and the other one's named Lucretia, who's going to get the fucking job.
Yeah.
For the most part, we're going to probably go and bet on Ryan is going to get the fucking job.
It depends.
Well,
I mean, it depends because like I was saying with the like affirmative action thing, like Lucretia may get the job.
Yeah, but if you were to bet right now, then we'll be real.
On paper, yeah, because I mean, there's a lot of systemic racism. Of course,
but I don't know if you see the type of company, or if they're trying to be like, okay, we want to, bring in the minority. They may not be fitting the job. Yeah, if you want to go deeper into it, sure, yeah, but that goes with the affirmative action, which is not right.
A lot of things too. A lot of companies, especially Google, that report that James Damore, I believe his name was. A lot of companies are basically saying that if they are white and if they're male, and it depends. Okay, let's just say with Google, there's a Google report saying that basically, they were saying that in HR and the hiring process that if they're white, Asian, and male, we don't want them. If we want more diversity, we want the hell with competence, like the right person for the right job, and James Lindsay also said a good point too. Like when it depends. Like especially certain jobs. He said like when he was flying one time, the people that are the flight controls.
Air traffic controllers.
Air traffic controllers.
You gotta be on.
You have to know what the fuck you're doing. That's
have you ever seen that movie?
Very highly skilled job. If you hire somebody that's incompetent and doesn't know what they're doing, you're putting lives at risk. But you're just doing it for the sake of just being diverse.
Same thing will go in pilots.
But being the sake of being diverse and hiring because of that over competence and the right person in the job, that's dangerous. We're playing dangerous games by doing that.
As being racist, hiring someone for just being
exactly.
White.
How is that? How is that not fucking racist? I mean,
we've gotten way off topic. Way off topic. This is like
COVID.
This is like the most political. But that's what it's turned into.
I know.
I mean, and honestly, like that's like you don't want like it sounds ridiculous to say that, but I mean that's basically where it's going. It's the media has turned the pandemic into a divisive thing,
heavily dividing everybody,
and it's turning friend against friend, and people are shaming people for not wearing masks, and things like that.
And can I just bring something up? The media keeps on kind of pushing this agenda. It's about race. It's about parties. Ultimately, it's a class war, but they don't want that. They don't want us to realize that it should be a class war. They're trying to make it into a race war, into red, blue, left, right.
Yeah,
but Crips and Bloods, baby.
Right?
Well, what
Trump's the biggest blood.
What they're doing,
but it should be a class war.
It is a class war.
No. But people don't talk about that.
No, but it's a class war between the lower class and the middle class.
Yeah, see, and it should be about the highest versus the billionaires.
Exactly.
Yes.
But they exclude themselves from it.
Yeah.
Because it's always the middle class is under attack. The middle class is under attack. When you really look at it, like the upper 1%, like it should be us versus them.
They're laughing.
But, exactly.
But they control all the information.
Yeah.
They control everybody's paychecks.
And
way to go, Paul.
Aaron Paul, way to go, goddammit.
I'm gonna add onto your list. Don't touch things after you're drinking.
Rule 8. Rule 9, fuck yourself too.
It's gonna have to be this tall.
Right?
Got a quick question, okay? And this is me throwing some, I don't know what out there, but in your Facebook feed, because we don't want, dabble with Facebook that much, right? Apparently, from what I hear from this podcast. But on your Facebook feed, the ones that are very passionate on their side, who would you say is more passionate? Like, because I guess it depends on your friends, right? But would you say like the liberal side is more passionate in voicing their opinions, or the conservative side is more passionate in voicing their opinions? I'm curious.
Passionate or hostile?
I'm gonna throw something out there real quick, and I'm gonna let you.
I want to hear.
I'm gonna let you
hostile
see
and angry.
I'm gonna let you make your judgment on this.
Okay, that's
if you're on Facebook, it's mostly conservative. You're gonna see a lot of conservative shit. This is what I see.
Okay.
When you're on Facebook, it's a lot of
different
conservative shit. If you're on Instagram or Twitter, it's mostly liberal shit.
Especially Twitter.
Right, Bart? You might be conservative. Yeah, I know.
Oh, okay. But I'm talking about from your friends.
That's what I'm saying.
No,
I think that like as far as like where my friends tend to vocalize is on the conservative side
No.
tends to vocalize on Facebook.
But I think what Jake is trying to say, which I'm going to respond to, is I think from my friends, the
You're
left
not
side
even on social media though. Like how can you have
the left side? No. I'm saying in real life, Rob. You know, there's a thing called
IRL,
real life.
Gotcha.
Okay.
The internet is such a fantasy.
I have not left my house in a week, so no, I don't know what IRL is.
Classic.
Not everyone has an iPhone 6 and above.
It's so tiny, man.
I would just like to say,
like my dick.
I'd just like to say, Randy pulled up in a fucking Corvette tonight with an iPhone 4S.
Yeah, it's like
That's contradicting there, but
like
right.
an iPhone 4 SE or something like that.
Yeah, I forgot about that shit.
Hey, there's reasons behind that, all right?
There's no reason.
There's some
It
craziness.
doesn't make sense.
There's some mental illness behind it.
Mental illness, yes.
Everybody's a little psycho in their
I
life.
own my shit, all right? But no. But going
Don't
on
get white over
what
here.
you're saying,
Yeah.
I do think that my friends, the ones who are more liberal are the ones who are more vocal. And then the ones who are more Republican are more kind of like just, I mean,
really?
Yeah.
they have a lot of shit to say, but they don't want to say it because they're afraid.
They're
Really?
gonna get demonized. Yeah.
Yeah.
No, they're
I'm
really
afraid. I don't want to say it.
A lot of.
I'll say it right now.
I-
Goddamn it. Get rid of it.
Yeah, no, I agree with Randy. I feel the same way. A lot of them, they get a lot of people like they take. It seems like on the left side that a lot of them are just like they're okay. They'll just say whatever. But on the right, anything remotely, whatever, just immediately racist, chastised, bigoted, homophobic, transphobic, all this other shit. Like Jesus Christ.
I can see that too. Yeah.
Like, so are we not allowed to think and have our own opinion?
So
Exactly.
here's what I see.
You take that
and
weed
this is just
yourself.
my opinion.
I'm not a part of that weed.
I'm not. Well, I don't mean like as a conservative. I mean everybody in general.
I ain't
Yeah.
French.
I say the doctor needs to go to the WHO
Yeah.
and fix that shit over there.
So
Final thoughts?
This is what I see. I see, like if you have a liberal friend, and let's say you have a bunch of liberal friends, and I have a bunch of liberal friends, and I agree with a lot of things that they have to say. But if I say anything remotely conservative against what they say, like you're automatically branded, you're a Trump lover and you're a racist and you're a bigot.
Yeah.
But and like on the flip side of that, like you don't have to support.
Yeah.
You don't have to be a quote unquote Trump lover and agree with the things that he says
Rob,
and his agenda and things like that.
I'm in the middle. I don't have that many friends who I can talk to about politics because I talk shit about both sides and they all hate me.
Yeah,
So
I'm there
right in
with
the middle,
you, man.
I won't call myself like a
Libertarian?
Yeah. I mean, fucking like Ron Paul.
Centrist.
But
That's my baby, though.
But,
Hey,
no.
don't say fucking
But
Ron Paul.
problem is-
I'll fuck Ron
But
Paul.
I do
Hell yeah.
like to be in the middle.
Whoa! What'd you just say?
No, I'm listening to Randy here.
Nice cover up, Jacob.
I'm
That was,
listening to Randy.
that was a good diversion. I like that.
Yeah.
I'm gonna make sure I boost the volume
Yeah.
on that one little clip.
Yeah, throw that gain in there. Get the AC unit in it. Bring everybody.
go ahead, Randy.
But I mean, I don't know why I do it, but I just like to talk shit about both sides.
Yeah, I'm
Because
with you
both
on that
sides
too,
are
'cause-
fucked.
Yeah,
Well, that's what happened.
Biden and Trump
We
are,
should not
wow.
have.
yeah.
Well, that's. I mean,
Kanye though. Kanye, baby,
Wow.
it's gonna come save
Kanye
the day.
is just going to help Trump, and that's it. I
Yeah,
mean,
that's
Kanye
it.
is
That's
helping
gonna help
Trump.
Everybody's saying, basically because of that. But I just don't understand about this. Telling people who they should vote and who they based on their skin color too. That's bullshit.
well, I think
people are allowed to think what they want to think.
Here's what I
Don't take
think.
that away from them.
Here's what I mean.
Absolutely.
Honestly, like it sucks that like we are in 2020 and our best choices for president
Are Biden
are
and
pedophile
Trump.
Joe
Yes.
Biden who
And-
can't keep a train of thought going for more than a minute and a half.
Well,
and Donald Trump
Egotistical Trump, yeah.
and narcissistic, egotistical.
yeah.
But we were in that same predicament in
Crazy.
2016 too. We had a
But-
criminal.
True.
I mean, even
But
though
you know,
Hillary,
you know,
whatever.
Honestly, I would have like as much as all the shit that happened surrounding Hillary, looking back and all the stuff that like has surrounded Trump, I'd kind of like Clinton going with the Clinton. It's just like Yeah, I'm good with the old guard. Let's just go with that a little bit further.
I don't know.
But you figure
I kind of like how Trump was the wild card, so fuck it. I mean, this is what.
Well,
I mean, what we're talking about.
It's like that scene in Little Nicky at the very beginning of Little Nicky where John Lovitz falls out of the tree from peeping Tommy on, and like the bird. He's like, oh, you're the guy that likes to be the big bird peeping Tom on. So now you're going to get raped by a big bird for all eternity. He's like, oh, I deserve this. Yeah, we deserve this.
Yeah, dude, that was a really good Sam Kinison
I'm listening,
impression,
Paul.
by the way.
Yeah, no shit.
I'm listening, Paul.
Okay,
very good.
But you figure, okay, it's 2020. Independence or Green Party, because of social media and the internet, all this, the information we have, it's the information age.
No, we have a two-party system, Paul.
Yeah, I know, but you figure now would be the time for somebody on that side to be heard. No, seriously, to be heard.
Yeah,
I
back
agree.
then I could see it was hard because it was hard to get. It was hard to hear all these people, but because of the internet and you could easily
social media platforms,
but
there should be more choices.
There should be,
but you figured that. But it feels. I think it's suppressed on purpose. It's suppressed.
Bernie should have won the fucking nomination.
That shit. I feel honestly. I wasn't supportive for him, but I honestly feel bad for the guy. He got cheated again.
See, I don't care. I don't care because I already paid off my student loans, so fuck it.
I think that we should go back to the old system in like the first and second, third, fourth elections. No, whoever loses the election is the vice president of the winner.
Yeah. I mean, it used to be like that.
Thomas Jefferson stopped that. so the race. Fucking Fast and the Furious style?
Too soon, Junior.
You like that?
That was fucking great, man.
You don't know what we're talking about, check the Instagram page. It's
our Instagram feed.
But,
how fucking race?
Yeah. How about this, guys? How about final thoughts? Yeah. We go from, you go.
Me first? Okay. Final thoughts on COVID. I mean, I think that it's a pandemic. It's been blown out of proportions. It's hard to find factual information, especially in the age of the internet, because that's your only source, and every media outlet, every search engine is controlled by somebody with an agenda. So it's hard to find actual factual information involving actual numbers and what's going on. So the only thing you can do is trust the companies that are, meant to, track these things and paid to track these things. Are you wadding up your notes? You're like, fuck these notes.
Wet.
Oh, because he spilled beer all over.
Yeah. That wasn't me.
They're all up in here.
So, I mean, that's one of the things that this pandemic has pointed out. But I mean, it goes for anything really. Like that's just in general. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Paul?
Yeah. I pretty much, you said a lot of what's on my mind. It's just overblown. It's an opportunity. I don't think that, this was, cause I always heard, fuck you, asshole. I've heard that people were saying that like, this was done by design or on purpose. I think, no, this was an opportunity. that the government or certain people have agendas they just want to take advantage of and use it to their you're gonna press something, aren't you? You fucking saw your fingers. You had the ready position, you prick.
All right, fine.
Darn tootin'.
All right, cocksucker. But pretty much it is what it is. It's overblown. To me, it seems like it was an agenda. They took advantage of an opportunity and now they're playing it, and we're all a lot of people are falling for it. And I gotta say, just don't fall for it. Don't play these fucking games that the media wants you to do and divide us, man. We're better than that. And I don't know. There just seems like there's a huge silent majority that just wants to be left alone. Leave me be. I got my own problems, just like everybody else's. I'm not going to project it on everybody. No. Let's be responsible. Let's be adults, and let's learn, just love thy neighbor and just fucking get along, man. That's it.
All right. Well,
Randy, what do you think?
Randy,
I gotta say, I'm just trying to look towards the future, because we're all fucked right now. Biden, Trump, whoever wins,
Kanye,
yeah. I mean, and I'm just thinking about like the future, like 10 years from now, there's gonna have to be a war. war kind of like corrects things, because
we haven't had a war in a while.
Well, it seems like we're already going through war.
What are you talking about? We haven't had a real war in a while.
In our own country.
Fucking Syria has been a proxy war. Hello,
I think you
proxy
mean,
war
I think
between the Russians and
come
on.
Do you remember?
You mean locally?
I mean, like the U.S. involved in like an actual war.
Yeah.
Do you remember sitting in your living room? Me and you were sitting in your living room the first night of the invasion of Iraq.
2003, yes.
Yeah, you remember we were watching that, drinking beers.
Yeah.
And we were like, damn, I can't believe this is happening. And then the next day they were like, all right, we're in Baghdad. The cap were like, and Jesus Christ, it only took like 24 hours.
Yeah, I know. Well, now it's all proxy wars and fucking using ISIS as proxies and shit like that. But this is my final thought, all right? So I think the focus is Iran next.
Oh.
Yeah. Iran is
way to take it left turn, or right turn.
They started it, then they're like, "Oh fuck, COVID hit. Let's pause that shit real quick."
yeah.
So to be continued. I think this whole shit is just kind of like it's just gaslighting society, and the real motive is always money. And there's gonna be a big war to kind of readjust the economy and the way of life, and then kind of.
You think it'll be a civil war?
That's
not.
Do you think they'll?
Oh, here?
Do you think that there'll ever be an uprising in America against the upper class?
I hope so. Yeah,
I don't know if
so
it'll be the upper class. I think it'll be just left versus right. Seems like at this point,
shit can't stay the same.
Okay,
interesting.
All right,
Jake.
Very interesting. My take is with the COVID, the BLM, everything is. Right now, people think that just because it doesn't affect me, fuck it, whatever. But in reality, on both cases, is
and that's all we have time for. Yeah, I'm just kidding. Go ahead.
No. In both cases, is that if you never really witnessed that or been through that, you really don't know what the fuck you're talking about, and that's just the truth. I don't know what the fuck I'm talking about because I'm not black.
Yeah.
So I cannot comprehend on what they're going through. I can try to understand it, but I'm never going to fully understand it.
But I mean, as a minority,
Oh, I understand my part of being a minority. Yeah, sure.
I really don't.
But listen,
and like recognizing that you don't understand it is a big.
That's part of that's half the battle, to be honest with you.
And that's great.
And I haven't had COVID, but I also have.
You will.
You don't know.
I have been tested.
Straight up. I've been coughing on you all night, buddy.
And I have been tested, but no. Like I said, I don't have COVID, so therefore, me making a big deal about not wearing a mask, I guess it's justified, right? Because I don't have it, but I also have 2 kids at home, and I got to think about that, and that's why I'm gonna take every type of precaution. Whatever it is. And those people that make a big deal about it just because you don't fully understand it or it doesn't affect you, I think that's very unfair.
Yeah.
To society in general. It's not doing any harm to society. So why make a big deal about it?
Because you can't look fly on the beach in a mask during spring break. That's
good call. But I mean, but then again, the caveat to that, I totally understand.
That was very sarcastic.
I can hide my iPhone 4, but I can't hide my mask, bro.
No, like I said, the caveat to that is like I totally get. We should always be on guard because once you crack that door to let them into the room, exactly. It's over. And I get it. But always be on guard.
But like I agree with Randy's point also. Like we got to pick our battles and
yeah. Absolutely.
I feel like this is probably not one of those battles that we should pick.
Nope.
You know what I mean?
Mask.
I don't know.
Don't matter.
There's a good amount of people.
Masks don't matter. Oh, wait.
Black masks don't matter.
Table
or get a Nike mask that just says just do it.
Just do it.
I'm out of that. I'm not part of that fucking
I just want to get a picture of the lower half of my face printed on a mask so that when I wear it, it doesn't look like I'm wearing a mask.
Yeah. Is that so hard to ask for? I mean,
so with that being said, I think we should, all throw in some Gentleman No Class face masks. Maybe.
Oh, no.
No?
We're going to get some Gentleman No Class face masks?
Why not? Fuck it.
Shit, why not?
God damn. We don't know how long it's going to be.
It's not going to go away, Paul. It's the new norm. Get ready.
I hate that term.
It'll filter. Not everybody's going to be wearing it, but
the new norm sounds
it's going to be like, I'm going to a concert and I have this douche wearing a mask. It's gonna happen
on stage trying to sing.
There you
Yeah.
go. And on that,
And on that note, before we end the episode, I just want to give a big shout out to our sponsor over at Eureka Heights at 9. I always say this wrong, but I think I got it correct this time. At 941 West 18th Street. I always say 914. But I think it's 941 West 18th Street, Eureka Heights Brewing Company. They did close down the tap room again.
Yeah, it's okay.
per the orders, but
but I want my beer, goddammit.
You should
How do I get my beer?
Go by there, go through the drive-through. They just did a whole revamp of the outside. They have this really cool, like on the entryway, like it says where you normally walk into the brewery, it says beer and high fives now on that wall in yellow, and they repainted the whole
Take some of the yellow.
Take some of the yellow. Don't be stingy.
Some of the blue, some of the yellow.
So, anyway, make sure you go support our friends over at Eureka Heights. Go through the drive-thru. It's touchless. It's COVID friendly.
Whoa!
Order your
wait,
shit.
be COVID friendly. Like if you have
you're
COVID,
not gonna get
if you have COVID, they're okay with you.
No, because we say COVID friendly. Like bring on the COVID.
Right? Cough on us.
Stas is the last time I was over there. Stas was the one man and she was like, she was wearing a mask, and we talked, and they loaded everything in the back of my car.
Oh yeah.
I was able to pay wirelessly or whatever. So it was real quick
with that Apple Pay. I see.
Yeah. I did do that. Apple Pay. Cashless Society. Speaking of Cashless Society,
Paul.
If you are listening to the show and you would like to buy us a beer, you can go on Venmo and you can send us some cash. We would appreciate it. If you would like to, though. You don't have to. But if you would like, keep the show going, keep the show rolling on Venmo, we are at Beer Me. Damn it. And that will, we use that money to restock the beer fridge and keep the content flowing to you. So it's at Beer Me -damn it, DAMMIT, the correct way to spell it.
Yeah.
Like Blink-182 did.
Yeah, exactly. That's where I got that from. So,
yes.
If you would like to send us some, reparations for
shekels,
reparations,
throw some shekels,
cashless shekels.
Yeah, cashless shekels.
Because we're thirsty.
Yeah, we are thirsty. We do drink a lot of beer. So, and on that note, I have been Rob,
called
Randy,
and I'm Jake,
and we will catch you on the next one, guys.